welcome to another episode of the Matt Gay podcast.
Yep.
I am your host, Sammer, and of course, I've got my boys hanging out with me, Christian, aka Chicken Breast, Stank, and a Hall of Fame NFL kicker by the name of Matthew Gay. What is up, Matt?
What's going on, guys? Pleasure to be on here, and been looking forward to this day. It's taken a little bit of time to make it happen, but we're here. We made it.
I mean, whatever, man. Whatever hoops you need us to jump through to make this work, that the Matt Gay podcast is officially launched. We're hanging out.
I'm just kind of stunned right now. I'm kind of, starstruck because we're joined by like a future Hall of Fame kicker that's going to kick the last kick in next season in Raymond James, which is a game winner in the Super Bowl.
Absolutely.
In the Super Bowl.
Absolutely.
In the Super Bowl. It's going to happen. It's written.
It's bold. You taking it to Vegas?
Absolutely.
Yeah.
We're gonna place the bet while we're in Vegas. We're gonna place that bet.
He already did.
Wow.
I got bookies, bro. I got bookies, bro.
I mean, how often can you talk and hang out and talk football with a Hall of Famer, bro? We're talking to a Hall of Famer here. This is Matt Gay. This is Matt fucking Gay, the guy who owns 4 rookie kicking franchise records for the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. I mean, come on, a lock, bro, a lock.
Hey, Samra, did you know that Matt Gay's not even a kicker? He's a soccer player who happens to kick.
It's just a thing that happens.
That's a whole nother level.
I like the way that sounds. Adam.
Yeah,
That's a whole nother level.
Yeah, he doesn't – listen, he just started kicking the football like 3 years ago, 3 or 4 years ago.
This is kind of like that SNL skit from back in the day with Bill Brasky. Do you guys remember that? Where they're all at the bar. Bill Brasky used to drink 40 ounces with a sneeze. And we were doing this whole thing, and Bill Brasky is like sitting right next to him the whole time. We're talking about Matt Gay. Matt.
Nobody got the reference at all.
Where are you going with this, bro? I'm like,
it's like 1980s SNL, man. It's 1980s SNL. I'm the old guy now, huh?
So Matt,
all right, whatever.
Tell me the truth, bro. When you put that video out, bro, did you pull some motivation or some inspiration from Napoleon Dynamite when you kicked that fucking football over?
Obviously.
You kicked it like over the mountains, bro. It was like did the ball did you recover the ball? Was it was gone, right? For good.
I think it's long gone, man.
There's no recovering that, bro.
I never saw it again.
Nobody ever saw that ball again.
I mean, it was over the
mountains. That would be an expensive habit. Losing NFL grade footballs into the wilderness all day long.
Every kick is gone. It's gone.
When you're kicking pro and a soccer pro, they probably just give you those balls for free anyways, right? So listen, Matt, we got to ask you some serious questions. We like to have a lot of fun on this show, but we got to ask the serious questions, right? And one of those, one of the first things that came to my mind when the Bucs signed Tom Brady, which is huge, obviously, is, people always talk about the locker room and the personalities and everyone knows what Tom brings. But how, did you have to call Tom and kind of express to him, like, listen, I know you're the alpha male wherever you've been, but this is my locker room. Like, how are you guys going to coexist?
That's a good question.
A great question.
It might be an awkward first few weeks, just like the whole deciding who's going to be the alpha. Like, one day it's going to, and then finally one of us is going to have to let the other one take it.
I mean, you're bigger than him, and so naturally he's going to be intimidated.
Yeah, but with a punch with 5 rings and then a 6 in the hand, he might end up taking me if you get into a fist fight.
Yeah.
So
yeah,
that's true.
In all seriousness, though, Matt, when that all happened and Tom was basically announced that he was going to be the Tampa Bay Buccaneers 2020 and 2021 quarterback, what went through your mind? Like, what was that feeling? I know you're not necessarily playing on offense with him, but how did that feel?
Yeah. I mean, it's crazy. I actually had a buddy in January. He was like, listen, long shot, but I'm calling Tom Brady to the Bucs. And he was like, here's why. And he went through the whole reasons, Mike Evans, Chris Godwin, Bruce Arians, why he would come. And so that kind of like stirred it in my mind a little early. And it was like, like that's a possibility. Like he's got a shot there. Shout out to Steve Hansen, by the way, who
no, you can tell him it was me, Matt. It was you can tell him you spoke as well in January. And I was pounding that drum.
Somebody just make some toast. What the fuck was that? Did you hear that?
Somebody's
saying we got a toaster in the back.
Yeah, I got some pita bread heating up behind me. Sorry, my bad.
If you need to step away, that's fine.
Yeah.
I don't know what that was, to be honest, but
no, dude, but it's exciting. We're talking about the GOAT here, like arguably the greatest football player of all time. Going to be your teammate. Like you're going to be in the locker room. You're going to associate with this person. And it's exciting. It's exciting for the team, the city. For me, I'm excited to hopefully even be able to, sit down and talk with him and just learn from him, because success is success in any fashion. Like whether he's a quarterback, I'm a kicker, there's things that are similar in successful people. And so just being able to kind of like watch what he does day to day, how he handles his business, and be able to pick his brain a little bit so I can learn how he's had the career he's had and the success he's had, and just be able to kind of copy some of that, emulate some of that, so I can maybe have that same success in my career. And it's just, it immediately changes the vibe. It immediately kind of perks the ears up, I think, of everyone. Like, okay, you got to be, not that you weren't wanting to be on your game already, but like, I better be on my game. Like, this guy demands the top of the line of success, and so it just kind of sit up straight a little bit. Like, all right, let's go. Like, it's Tom Brady, so he is earned and demanded that kind of response and really approach to the game from everyone who's on his team.
That's awesome. And going off what you said, I would imagine a lot of your teammates echo that sentiment in reference to, just watching his everyday routine. Success leaves clues. So pay attention, you could pick up those nuggets. And like you said, it just changes the whole aura. We've joked about it, Adam and Sammer, that were, the ticket rep. My ticket rep called me and was like, hey, man, I just want to make sure I'm on my A game. As soon as they signed Tom Brady, like everybody just from the top to the bottom, everywhere. It changes.
Oh, yeah. Definitely. I think that.
I was going to say, I find it extremely telling that as a special teams guy, like even Tom, like affects everybody on the team. All 53 are basically saying, okay, the level that this guy comes in at has now become our level. Like that bar has been raised across the board, which is like that's telling, man. And you don't hear that from other guys. That's like, that's like the Michael Jordan effect. I don't know if you were watching The Last Dance, but like that, Tom Brady has that Last Dance type of feel that, I'm here and this is what I'm going to get done and you're coming with me. And if you can't do that, I'm going to find some way to get somebody who can in some way or another, which is, I don't know how much you know about the Bucs, Matt, but that's not something that we've had here for a while. Like that's not what this culture's ever been about around here, outside of maybe like, maybe an 8 to 10 year stretch.
Yeah, definitely. For sure.
Since the Grammatica days, essentially. Which was a long time ago.
Martin.
Martin comes around the team, doesn't he? You ever met him?
Yeah, I've met Martin a few times. Great guy. Had a lot of good things to say, and just picked his brain for a little bit too, and kind of, how he handled himself in the NFL and what made him successful. And this city, I walking around, going out in places, you can tell, I feel like the vibe of the city's even changed. Like the vibe of the team, you can tell has changed in like just messages and coaches and things like that. But I feel like the whole city, that's what they're talking about. It's, the Bucs, good year. Everyone, the vibe has changed around the city, and the city needs that. The city needs and deserves, Tom Brady deserves some of the success that we're going to bring. And it's just a completely 180 flip from last year. I'm based on my 2 years in the NFL. Last year and this year. And I think it's going to be a definitely 180 flip, completely different change, culture change. And with a guy like that. I mean, when he speaks, you listen, type of thing.
Mm-hmm.
Like,
Matt, what's it been like so far, like with team meetings and Zoom meetings and stuff like that? Are the meetings with the entire team? Or are you just with the special teams? You know, what's it been like so far?
Yeah, mainly it's just been positions. So like I'll talk to my position coaches and kicking coaches, and we'll go over what we're going over, and the whole special teams will send out some stuff. But I mean, it hasn't really been whole team stuff. It's just been positions and everyone taking care of their own workouts, because everyone's workouts are different. And so making sure that everyone's doing their own workouts and working with the strength staff. And, you know, I'm taking care of what I'm taking care of. Like, what I got to do is put the ball through the uprights. And so I think they're really handing down on, like, you do what you do and everyone else will do what you do, and trust that they're working, and it'll all come together when the team shows up in training camp.
Now, Matt, speaking of Martin Gramatica, Martin would get his nose in there sometimes. So I got to ask you, man, is that like a kicker's dream, or do some guys just don't want any smoke? Or do you like think about that sometimes? Like, man, I would love to kick a ball down on a kickoff and just to get a perfect kick, just lay somebody the hell out. Or, nah, I'm good. I'm just going to let the guys go ahead.
I think it's one or the other. Like, either some guys are like, yo, no, I'm fine not touching a single person. And then there's other guys who are like, I want to crack at someone. I'm a little bit of the, I want to crack at someone. Like, I want to get in there and take, and, you know, I want to lay someone out.
I mean, you're built like a linebacker. Come on, bro.
Yeah, you are.
Oh, I got laid out last year. I don't know if you saw.
Which game?
Which game?
I want to say it was the Houston game. I think I had a blocked field goal, and instincts kicked in, and I just like started immediately running and chasing down the ball.
Who laid you out?
You got laid out. Ooh.
Was it VH3?
Don't say VH3.
Don't say it was VH3.
Not VH3, not Vernon Hargraves, please.
It was about the three times the size of Vernon. Two D linemen just threw me, and my whole leg and hip were bruised, and my back was all smashed up. I got laid out. So,
have you laid anybody out in college? Or I don't know if you had played in high school. I don't know if Stank was just screwing around earlier, but have you actually laid anybody out? Do you have a memorable hit that you've actually impacted on another?
No, I've never like laid anybody out. I've had a few tackles and things like that, but nothing where it's like I laid that guy out, like totally smacked him. But hopefully one of these days, I'll pick a smaller opponent than a 320-pound D lineman next time.
You strike me as one of those guys that's not just a football player. You're an athlete. So, you know, part of me's like, yeah, you know, I'd like to see you get in there and just lay some fucking wood, but I'm afraid that if you do that, you know, you might put, you know, other guys' jobs in jeopardy. You know, I don't want, you know, Todd Bowles looking over saying, hey, listen, if we can get Matt somehow involved,
you can save a roster spot here,
packages or have him coming off the edge, something where he can lay out a quarter. Like, you know, that's not fair. You know, it's enough that you're already, you know, the Hall of Fame guy on the team, you know, as it is. It's just, you know, it's a bit unfair. That's all. It's a bit unfair.
I just don't want to take any Hall of Fame spots from anybody else. You know what I mean? I'll keep it at one. That's good enough. It's a good lifetime to live. And now, but I like to think I'm an athlete. I like to think that, you know, I mean, I played Division I soccer and played high school sports and did some other things. So I like to think, but I mean, when you get to this level, these dudes are they're freaks at what they do.
Yes, Sammer, I did my research. All right. Matt just started playing football, like what, your senior year of high school? Was that, am I right?
So I was playing soccer. I played soccer my whole life. That was number one sport. And our senior year, we got a new football coach, and he was like, listen, dude, show up on Friday nights and kick in the game. I don't care if you're at any practices, nothing like that. I just want you to show up and kick. And I was like, sure, like I'll show up and kick. And so I literally would show up Friday nights and kick in my high school games and just kick the ball out the end zone and just run to the sideline and
you hit a 50.
You weren't even practicing. Hold on, you weren't even practicing, and you were just showing up and kicking field goals.
Kicking in-game field goals, 60 yards, no big deal.
It's like Tom, like, listen, I just picked up a ball and touchdown. There it was. You know what?
The legend grows.
What the hell? It's the same motion. You're just kicking a ball. Same thing from soccer. I mean, you just change a few things, and then
it's a different
my senior
ball.
year was it's just a little different technique. Like you just, I don't know, switch it up a little bit. But
you've got to figure it out, bro.
Fall of 2011, my senior year, and then I didn't kick or do anything until like January of 2017 is when I played 2 years college soccer and I quit. And then I just said, I'm going to go for this football thing. I'm going to try and kick. And so I went to a field and started kicking and figuring it out. And then went to a few open tryouts. I tried talking to people like, hey, do you know any tryouts that I can get on? And I tried out a few colleges, won some camps, got offered a few different spots. And then Utah was the best offer I had, and was like, if I'm going to go to the NFL and do this, I need to be able to win the starting job at the best possible school I can be at. And so I decided to walk on at Utah, and then ended up winning the job in fall camp. And then I played really my first years kicking, 17, 18 were my first 2 years kicking. And then last year was my first year in the league, which would say my third year.
That's crazy, dude.
It's
nuts. And you were like, he's leading the team in goals on his soccer team in one of those seasons before he's even kicking field goals. Like, bro, and then you take off. You just you walk on, and you're just winning awards in college. This is like. Yeah. You thought we had built a legendary status. Like the myth is growing. I'm
trying to tell you, bro.
You're like Paul fucking Bunyan right now.
When I saw that,
ridiculous.
That's like saying I'm pretty good at putt, and then picking up the golf clubs, and then 2 years later
winning the PGA Tour.
You're pro, right?
What?
Exactly. You're out there with Tom and Peyton and Tiger swinging the clubs.
I mean, we could honestly say that Tom has never played with a kicker of your status, really. This is unbelievable.
Clearly.
Wow. Oh man, this is legendary shit.
Hope to be on that list of kickers that Tom played with.
What do you mean?
You're going to be on it?
No, dude. He's had Adam Vinatieri.
Oh, you mean the list of? Yeah, I got you. Yeah.
Right. He's had Adam Vinatieri, who's won him a few Super Bowls, who's going to be the greatest kicker of all time.
Won him his first one
in history, and then Steven Gostkowski, who played a big part in a few of those Super Bowls. Yep. Those are two legendary kickers. I hope Matt Gay is on that list.
Oh, you're going to be there. So
win him a few Super Bowls.
When Tom came to the Bucs, do you actually do kickers reach out to kickers who played with other team or teammates and things of that nature, or is it pretty much it's all the same stuff?
I think it's all the same stuff, pretty much. There's a good community with kickers. Guys are friends. You talk to each other at games. You meet up in the off season and stuff like that. But I haven't reached out to anybody, or it's kickball through upright. It's pretty much the same thing.
Are you the emergency punter?
Yeah. If Pinion goes down like game day. Then
take that guy's job if he goes down. That's not even fair.
I'll go in there and just
they're boys.
Hack away at it.
Do you practice your punting at all?
Yeah, I try to stay up on it. So if that happens, I can go in the game and hit some 40-yard fair caught balls that nothing great, but get the job done, get us off the field, switch the field.
There's no pressure with punting. If you shank it, you would walk off the field. You the puppy dog face, you make eye contact with the coach, you're in the doghouse for a little while. There's no pressure. That to me is the ultimate kicking position. At long snapper, there's pressure. You long snap it, you're done. You're off the team if you keep fucking up. Punters, you can get away with murder, man.
Pinion would destroy me if I didn't say that there was pressure. There's definitely pressure punting. I think if you drop that ball, or there's a lot of things like if you outkick your coverage, like you're gonna punt a ball to, I don't know, Tyreek Hill and let him return the punt. Like there's a lot of like little nuances that you've got to like perfect in punting, like directional, like height with distance. You don't want to outkick your coverage, things like that you could do a lot of wrong.
I think
it's not black and white like kicking field goals. Like the fans aren't going to be like, oh, that was a terrible, like kicking. It's like it was in or it wasn't. It was good or it was bad. Punting, it's like, it was okay. It's not the best punt he's had, but got the job done.
For you,
he just missed the field goal. Like
no, it's either in or it's out. Yeah, you're right.
It's in or out.
I think you forgot those things in reference to punting and no pressure. Do you remember when the Giants punter punted to Deshaun Jackson? The coach literally wanted to, but he's like, I just told you to punt to him. Why did you punt to him? I told you to put it out. So there's pressure, bro. Like that punter eats for free in Philadelphia for the rest of his life. Did you know that? They literally, his restaurants are like, your tab is covered, bro. Anytime. He's a Giants kicker.
He must have had like a mini panic attack. Like, don't punt it to him. Don't punt it to him. And then just
I put it to him. Oh my God.
It's like the one time you shank a punt that didn't go out of bounds. It went to the guy. Like he was probably aiming and
shanked it to the returner.
Yeah. Hey, Matt, what was your biggest takeaway? Like, what was the biggest thing you learned when you went from college to your rookie year in the NFL as a kicker? Like, what was the biggest maybe adjustment or lesson that you took away from that first year? Kicking for the Bucs, of course.
every single kick matters. In college, they matter, but I feel like the games you're more likely to see a blowout, or you're more likely to, if you miss a field goal, it's not gonna. Yeah, the margin's so much. I mean, in the NFL, I think 75% of games or something like that are decided by 4 points or less, or something like that. Mm-hmm. So like that 4 points that's me. That's like a PAT in the first quarter. That 1 point, like, could be. I mean, think back to that Giants game, right? I had 2 missed PATs. Like, I hit those, and we're winning at the end of the game. Or it just completely changes. Like, it's not just, oh, this is a game winner. It's like, no, I mean, that PAT in the first quarter could be the game winner. That could be the difference. That could be and just the adjustment from the extra point. Like in college at the 11-yard line, like the 20-yard, like you never think twice about it. It's like, I'll go out with my eyes closed, and like, even if I shank it, it's probably still going to go through.
Is that real? Is that real? Because I've heard some kickers talk about that, about how when they didn't move the PAT back, it almost gave you a chance with the old PAT rules to kind of get warmed up. Kind of like a basketball player, see the ball go through the net, see the ball go through the uprights. Is that real that when they moved it back, it's kind of like, holy crap, there is no warm-up shot. This is just the 35.
Oh, yeah. I mean, I think you've seen in the last few years how many people have missed extra points. Like, the games have been closer. I mean, there's been games decided by like missed extra points. And the extra point is done with. Like, that's a field goal. That is 100% a field goal that if you're not focused, you don't hit a good ball, like, you're going to miss.
27 yards?
33.
33 is extra point?
Yeah, 33 is the extra point. So it's
that's a field goal.
That's definitely it should be. You should make that every single time. It's in that range where it's like that should be in every single time. But you also kick so many of them that it's like
you're gonna miss some.
That's a 33-yard thing, and you cannot take that lackadaisical. So I think that was a big switch for me. It's like never really had to think about a PAT, and now it's like, no, like, you got to get that out of your mind. Like, this is a 33-yard field goal. 33-yard field goal, and you've got to like treat it as such. So I think those two things were the biggest like mental cues for me. Like, okay, we got to dial in a little bit more. Like, these are extremely important.
You kick in a more narrow field goal in practice? Like, at the training facility? Are the uprights closer together to give you, so when you're out there and you see the regular uprights and you have more room, does that even do anything? I mean, would it be beneficial to kick in a tighter window at practice?
There's good and bad of both. I mean, they've got the skinny post there. I think sometimes it's good to go and have sessions there. I personally like just practicing on normal uprights, like same as you're going to see in a game. It's just the visual. Like for me, it's just like, this is what I'm going to see in a game. This is what I better work on in practice. Like I'm not going to see the skinnies. Like it's just everything trying to be the exact same. You want the visuals to be the same. You want the feel to be the same. You want every kick to be the same. So when I'm practicing and I get up and it's not like anything different there. It's the same kick, same kick, same kick, same kick. And so for my visual preference, I like to practice on just normal size post.
When you brought up the Giants game, all right, and I gotta ask this question because it was such a thing that happened during the season for fans, for sports writers, sports journalists, all of it. Two things. When you're in a game like that and you miss 2 extra points, or any game you miss a couple kicks, what goes through the psyche of a kicker and how you get yourself out of overthinking what went wrong and to just going out there and just executing and getting that ball to go through the uprights? And then second, everybody knew that Bruce pulled that field goal back at the end of that game on purpose. Was there a discussion between you and Bruce, or you, Bruce, special teams guy? Was there anything like that, or was that just something that you guys kind of had set up before maybe? Like, what was that scenario? How did it actually play out from your standpoint? I had to ask.
First one, that's just sheerly like mentality. Like there's a lot of guys out there in the world that can kick a football and do it really well. But can you handle doing it in front of thousands of people? And yeah, you can kick when everything's going good and you're on a hot streak, but how do you handle yourself when you have missed 2 PATs and then you got to go out there for a 50-yard field goal? Like, can you bounce back? Can you handle the bad times? And so that's something I've really worked on. And I think I do a good job at. There's a lot of improvement there, but I think being able to analyze what went wrong, know what went wrong, and then quickly just discard it and get to the next like, okay, I missed it left because I was too tight and I came in too quick. Okay, slow my approach down, make good contact, and then discard it and just be able to go out there and put the next one through. Because whether it went in or it didn't, that's not worrying about. That kick is not going to make the next one go in.
Yep.
Like it's a completely different kick. Like whether it was good or bad,
it's gone.
If I'm stressing about a bad kick, that's gone, and that's not going to help the next one go through. Or if I'm, that ball I hit was so beautiful, perfectly down the middle, that kick's done. It's not going to help the next one go through. So it's just being able to like analyze, live in the moment, and then discard it and come back. And so I think I've done a good. I'm improving at it, but I think I'm doing a fairly decent job at being able to handle those situations.
I actually was going to bring that up before Sam brought up the Giants game, and I was bringing it up to commend you, because after that miss, you went kind of on a hot streak. You kind of just turned the page, and I was like, damn, like you said, snap and clear. You know what I mean? Yeah,
snap and clear, fight or flight type of moment where it's like, I'm either I'm meant for this or I'm not, and I feel like I'm meant for it, and you got to go out there and prove it and show it. And I mean, showing that mental toughness, that I can't think of the word, the bounce back. There's a better word for it, but it
mental
is
fortitude.
I think, fortitude. Maybe I think perseverance is the word I was looking for. That's what I think fans look at and be like, okay, he screwed up, but what happened next? Like, did he screw up 4 or 5 times after that, or did he come back and show some resilience and fight through it? And so the year was full of up and downs. I mean, I definitely was not at my peak ability and had I was this way and hot streaks, and then there was a bad game in between, and learned a lot from last year, and I think there's going to help me a lot this year. A lot of what to do and what not to do. But yeah, I think that's what fans look for when things like that go wrong, or how does someone handle himself in a situation like that.
Are you looking forward to the next time you're in that position where the game is on the line and it's on your foot to win the game? I mean, I'm sure as a competitor, you want that moment.
Oh, and I know it's coming. It's going to come this season, and I can't wait for that, because looking back, it's hard to process in the midst of a season and in the midst of everything that's going on. But when I can look back at the season and kind of figure out, okay, what happened there? There was no doubt in my mind that field goal was going in. And what it's come down to is that I was overconfident. Like the whole time I was like, the 2 minutes left in the game, I was like, it's going to come down to me. I'm going to get the kick. I'm going to bang it through. I'm going to win the game. Like, I can't wait for that moment. Everyone's like, I'm going to get that moment. I'm going to hit this game winner. Like, I'm going to arrive in the NFL. Like, I'm here, and people are going to – and all of that was going on, I completely missed a step of taking care of, like, my process.
Mm-hmm.
I was overlooking the small things, so I didn't take care of what's my field goal process. I didn't take care of the celebration that will come. I got to worry about right now. I got to worry about my 3 steps back are perfect. My 2 steps are over. I settle myself. I should make sure I see my target. I bang it through, and then that'll happen. Because I was analyzing everything after, and I think that I was so hyped up on the moment that I was going to have that I missed that step of going through my process and the preparation of actually making the kick.
Having a guy comes with experience, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, and that's the whole thing. I mean, you learn a lot more from, I think,
your failures
than you do your successes. And I think looking back at that, I mean, being able to analyze that, I know how I'm going to handle it going forward, and being able to break that down and figure out, okay, well, why did this happen, is going to help me going forward. And it happened early. I mean, it is what it is. It sucks. You freaking lose the game. But having that early in my career, being able to, like, I think going forward is going to help me a lot longer in the long run, because I learned it so early. I learned a valuable lesson so early that I think that throughout my career, it's going to actually benefit me.
That's one of those things that you'll probably be able to discuss and maybe pick Tom's brain on, because Tom's been in so many clutch moments where it's like, all right, we've got to get 3 first downs, get it to this yard line so Vinatieri can kick this field goal or get a touchdown, whatever it is. But there's a mindset that comes with what Tom's done for so long. And I think, like you said, success leaves evidence, or what is it, clues, or whatever Christian said there earlier. I forgot what, but you could learn obviously from a guy like Tom in terms of things like that. That's what I'm most excited about, man, with the Bucs. I mean, we're crazy diehard fans, the 3 of us, and Tom coming to town kind of like elevates this expectation in the bar, and everything is like, I'm just excited to see what he does to everybody else on this team, as opposed to what we already know he can do. And obviously you've echoed that sentiment too, but that's it's going to be an exciting season for us. I'm pretty sure you're excited too, because this is going to be like this is a big deal now.
Oh yeah.
And speaking on that though, and I know you would never shy away, no competitor would, right, from assuming the responsibility, but there was other things that happened in that game too. Let's be clear, right? Like, the kicking position is very much like the quarterback position, in the sense that it gets too much blame and it gets too much, glory or credit. For example, there was other things that happened in that game that prevented us from winning that game. Besides that, just wanted to throw that in there. We could have had that game locked up in the first half. Just saying.
But that's the game of football, right? I mean, there's so many things that
team game.
A missed block, or a missed tackle or a draw catch, like all these things you can say up that, yeah, that's whatever. That's why it's a team sport. But when it comes down to that kick, and it wasn't like it was a 59-yarder, backed up against the wall. Like, if he makes it, great. If not, we understand. It's like, that was a 34-yard field goal. Like, that should be in every single time. So, yes, I take all the blame because that position was on me. That's what comes with my job. That comes with the territory of being an NFL kicker, is making those kicks. And that should have been freaking right down the pipe. Game winner.
Yeah, like you said, inevitably, doing this for a living, you're going to be put in that position. You're going to have some successes. You're going to have some failures. You're young in your career, and it is a lesson, I'm sure, that you did grow from. I mean, that it has the stakes are don't get any higher than playing in the NFL, and magnify that. If we have the success, in the win-loss column this year, and then you find yourself kicking in the playoffs and potentially in a Super Bowl, the stakes are even higher. But at the end of the day, it's still you versus yourself. As long as the ball is snapped and the hold is good, it's you versus the ball. It's you versus yourself every time. And you said you came in overconfident. That confidence it's beautiful. Then you learn. Oh, listen, I can't forget my mechanics. I can't forget, the steps in the process. So that I saw you bounce back, man. That was the biggest thing. We've seen a lot of kickers come through this town
and not bounce back.
I mean, you probably already know that don't ever bounce back. That keep on circling the drain until they're not kicking in the NFL anymore.
That's why when you were at that first open training camp Saturday last season, you were banging those kicks and moving back 5 yards, and then banging the kick and moving back 5 yards, and you could hear the crowd getting louder, and you're probably thinking, I mean, I'm just kicking field goals here. Or is there something else happening on the other side of the field?
You remember that moment?
That's why we were so fucking loud. We have videos of that moment, dude. Like, you
remember that?
That's how sad we are.
Yeah, we were talking before we recorded.
That's how sad it is here. Oh, we have videos of this moment.
Dude. He's got it right here on his phone.
He's got it pulled up.
That's a 65-yard field goal, bro. You're about to bang it. We freaking lost our minds.
That's awesome.
I love that. I'll get that from you. I want you to send me that. That's for you.
Dude, that was like such a huge thing for us. We're in training camp, and it's like the first training camp we're a practice that we're attending for that season, and we're going crazy over you kicking field goals, man. Like, that's how sad it's been here. And then, like, that Giants miss was terrible. I know we've kind of talked about it a little bit longer than probably anybody wants to, but
totally fine.
He brought it up.
You bounced back
totally
from
fine,
it, which was, we've seen kickers come through here, miss them, and that's it. Like, they never stop that snowball. Yeah, that snowball that just keeps building after that. And so you have shown resiliency, and there's, we joke too, but we also have been kind of serious about, the types of things that you're doing behind the scenes to help the Bucs. And there's people out there that doubt what Stank and Christian and I have been saying in regards to Tom Brady doesn't come to town if you're not making a call to Tom Brady.
Yeah.
I mean,
Thank you, man.
Yeah, tell us about that conversation that you had with Tom, when Tom was like on the fence. Should I come to Tampa? Should I not? Tell us about that conversation that you had.
He was like, "We got Mike Evans and we got Godwin, but let's seal the deal with Gag." Okay.
Yeah, exactly.
The FaceTime call, Tom was looking a little sad, and I could tell he had a lot on his plate. And I just had to sit him down and say, Tom, I'm here. Come join me here in Tampa. We're gonna do good things.
I knew it.
I knew it.
I mean, that's all it took. I'm assuming, and the numbers and all that stuff was just, he was probably like, listen, Matt called me, just take care of it. I don't need to see any of that stuff. Matt called me. I'm down. I'm in. That's it. I mean, it is what it is at that point. Matt, did you have any? I don't like to say favorite, but did you have like a favorite teammate throughout this first season in the NFL? Was there somebody that was kind of right there next to you, and maybe not in the same meeting room or position room as you, that just kind of kept you going and motivated and kind of focused and seeing things ahead of you as opposed to behind you?
Yeah. I got to shout out, obviously, Pinion and Trenner. I mean, those are my guys. I mean, Pinion was a vet, and he kind of helped me along the whole process, had my back during the good times, the bad times. But let's go out of the meeting room. I'm gonna say that Jameis was a big like supporter of just like always having my back, always making sure that he was there to be like, that's not on you, you know, that I mean the Giants game, that's not on you. I mean, there were so many things that happened in that game that, you know, that's on us. That's on us. We need to get you in a better position, this and this. And yeah, Jameis got it too. I mean, Jameis got probably the worst of it from everybody last year. So, I mean, knowing that he's going through what he's going through and the pressure he's under, for him to be able to still reach out about his teammates and, you know, keep me going, keep me uplifted, and, you know, making sure that every time I hit a kick, he's there to like dap me up and say, you know, good kick. Or if I miss one, he's there, you know, it's okay. We gonna get another one. You're gonna get another opportunity. Like, you're gonna bang a few more for us. And he was always, you know, the guy who is with everybody. I mean, he's always the guy who's talking to people and making sure they're uplifted, making sure they're on their game and staying locked in. Yeah, Jameis is he's a great guy all around. Great teammate. Always have my back.
I think
can't say enough good things about the guy.
I think the only guy they could have replaced Jameis with, because of the love of his teammates, obviously, Mike Evans is talking about it, Godwin, everybody talks about it. I think the only way they could have replaced him was with the GOAT, personally. I think that was the way the locker room was going to accept that move. I
think Jameis said that too. I mean, he's like, I mean, it says a lot about me in a city that, like, I mean, Jameis done so much for the city of Tampa. So, I mean, he's like, for a city that you love and the city that loves you, like, what can I mean, to be replaced by Tom Brady, you can't really be that mad. I mean, it's like, it's Tom Brady. But I know, I mean, yeah, Jameis is such a good dude. Like, seriously, he's a great teammate, great dude, great husband, great father. Did so much for the community. Still, I mean, he's still doing tons for Tampa as of now. I mean, he's handing out meals to people. I mean, even though he's doesn't play for Tampa anymore. I mean, last week he's delivering meals out and doing stuff for the city. So, I mean, he's just a stand-up dude. So I'd have to probably go Jameis for that answer on that one.
Yeah, that enthusiasm, that lovable quality that Jameis has, like, we're all gonna miss that, man.
It's infectious.
It is. I'm brokenhearted because I didn't want the Jameis experiment to end. I still believe he can be a great quarterback in this league, but it's a little bit easier to get over it when you have the opportunity to have a guy like Brady come here. And I think a lot's been made of his age, which hurts me because I'm old as fuck. But everybody out there, like, 43, he might as well be dead or whatever. I mean, like, how is he still playing in the NFL? The guy had individually had a good season last year. He wasn't surrounded by the best pieces. And then going from where he was last year to this offense with these, this staff, these pieces, man, I just can't wait to see what he can do with it.
With wide receiver 1, Scotty Miller, by the way.
Yeah, with Scotty Miller taking that role.
My guy, Scotty.
Yeah.
I love my guy, Scotty.
We already know he's going to fill in.
Is he that fast in person? Is he like, does it jump out on the field?
Oh, he's so fast. He's so quick. Like, the first few and he just, like, he's fast. Like, he is definitely track speed fast. Like,
but it translates. It translates.
Oh, yeah, it translates well.
I need your help, Matt. We need your help. Stank, Sammer this way, the Bucs, the entire city of Tampa. You see, Matt, you have been playing soccer your entire life. Then you transition to football, right? So in playing soccer, you've developed these massive hamstrings, and you know how to take care of them. Can you help Scotty Miller and Mike and Godwin? Give them a couple pointers, man. We need the hamstrings to stay good all year. Like we said about Tom, success leaves clues. I never seen Matt Gay pop a hamstring. I'm just saying. I'm just
athlete, bro. He's just a pure athlete. That's why.
And you help him out, man. What is it? Do you rub them down in milk like little giants at night? Like, what do you do with the hamstrings, bro?
He rubs them down in Beck's baby oil.
I'll tell you what I don't do with the hamstrings is I don't run miles and miles of practice. That's a fact. And I don't run 4 or 5 routes all day long. So that's why my hamstrings are. I mean, I could, I could, but it's just not with my position, you know. So
look at you, look at you, just being nice. I mean, really, give us.
Being humble, man.
We want to know
the humility.
Yeah, he's so
humility is off the charts, dude. It's crazy. I mean, and all over like national media, we've seen the Bucs defensive players get interviewed. We've seen the offensive players get interviewed, and there's this like clashing going on between which unit's going to carry the team, you know, and offense. And then Ali Marpet's like, you know, it's going to be offense, and Devin White's saying, no, you know what, the defense is going to carry this team. And I feel like maybe there's a little bit of disrespect going on here for the kicker who, you know, in the NFL, you guys account for 30% of the points scored on a team. I mean, do you think that maybe, you know, you're being disrespected by being left out of this conversation?
Just being left out a little bit, you know, hurts the feelings just a touch. But, you know, I'd rather just fly under the radar. I'd rather just, you know, come on, do my job, walk off, get the W, and go home. And
do you like to have that added chip on your shoulder? Is that kind of the mentality you take?
Oh yeah, always chips on my shoulder. Doritos, a bunch of stuff.
Hey, Matt, listen, we got 5 primetime games, man. The nation is going to know who you are before the end of the season. 5 primetime games. The most.
They're going to know. They're not going to forget too,
and they'll know.
They're going to know, Matt.
I thought you were going somewhere with that, by the way.
Yeah, I don't know. I didn't know where he was going.
I was waiting for you to be like, you got 5 primetime games. And then there was just silence.
Yeah, I mean, no one really knew where you were going.
I think you're going to build up a scenario.
Awkwardly repeated, like, they'll know. Yeah, I just didn't know what else. I was like, dude.
You've done that a couple of times. You've left these cliffhangers. I'm waiting for you to say something else, and you're like.
I think he forgets what he's going to say, so he just stops. And we're just all like, oh, okay.
You did mention a player though that's quickly becoming my favorite player on defense, and I got to ask you, what's he like in the locker room? Me and Stank have compared him somewhat to Jameis as far as that bravado, that positive energy. Is Devin White quickly becoming one of the leaders on defense? Like this kid is just like, I love it. I love all of it. I love the Twitter. I love the shit talking. I love all of it, bro.
He brings this swag, this confidence, and he should have it. He was the 5th overall pick. I mean, your first round pick, you come in, and I think people were talking. I mean, he missed a few games for an injury, and then people are like, "Oh, okay. I mean, our defense is killing it." And then all of a sudden he comes back and he balls out.
Yep.
Like leading the team in freaking tackles, like getting fumble recoveries, touchdowns, like, and people are like, all right, this dude can freaking play. And I think as a rookie, it's tough because, I mean, you go from a senior where you're the leader, and then all of a sudden you come in a rookie and you're kind of bottom of the totem pole again. But being a first round pick, there's so much more like pressure on you. There's so much more like expected of you. And I think Devin has delivered that in every way possible. Like he's given production on the field. He's given the leadership and the effort that the team needs, and that like guys like Levante David, expect. So, I mean, he comes in and is right there with Levante, and then he also gives like the fans what they want. He gives that energy. He gives that excitement. I don't think in any way, Devin White has disappointed. And I think we're just seeing
just scratching the surface.
The scratch of the surface with Devin White. I think he's going to be all pro. He's going to be pro bowler. I mean, I think him and Levante are going to freaking tear it up this year.
Crazy.
Those two
Matt, best linebacking duo in the entire NFL, man.
I think the moment the main
and Levante.
Levante's never been appreciated, which is bull.
It's crazy to me. The dude's so good.
Got better numbers than Kuechly. Never gets appreciated. It's like
he's insanely good.
But the moment that made me like my jaw drop with Devin, I was for the pick. A lot of people were like, "Oh, the off-ball linebacker, whatever." I was for the pick. I was happy for the pick. I wanted Devin, but when he got hurt and the slow start a little bit, but the moment that made my jaw drop, where I was like, "Okay, this kid's special." And Stank remembers. I think you watched that game in my house when he ran down Carson. I mean, I don't even know what that looked like on the sideline.
The Seattle game?
Seattle game. The dude had like a 40-yard head start, bro, and then caused the fumble. I was like, Jesus, this kid is different. He is different.
A lot of time you don't see backers like get a stride out, right? I mean, it's quick speed to make a tackle. It's quick. And, I mean, Devin ran a 4.4 at the 40. I mean, in the combine, and he's always talking about his speed and, you know, challenging guys like, oh, you can't run as fast as me, this and that. And Seattle, you're sitting there thinking, like, this guy's going to score a touchdown. And then here comes friggin' – I thought he was on one of his horses. Freaking – he was –
moving.
You're like –
yeah, guys built like that,
this guy can
they're not
run,
supposed
dude.
to be that fast, bro.
No, like for how big and freaking jacked that dude is, and you're like, he's going to catch him. He might catch he caught him.
He caused the fumble.
And he stripped – like, hopefully, if he was in more play, I mean, that ball could have been out and been a different story. It went out of bounds, but it's just like you look at guys like that, and like I like to think I'm an athlete, and then you see guys like that, and you're just like, I'm not an athlete.
There are levels.
I'm not athlete.
Yeah, there's levels to the game, man, for sure.
But you're the same though. Like you look like a guy that shouldn't be an athlete, but you're ridiculously athletic. Like we were talking before we got on here, how
what's up?
Hey.
Hello.
What's up?
Say hello.
We were talking earlier how like I'm a Florida State fan and I loved Janikowski growing up. And when the Raiders got Janikowski and this, you know, I've always believed you got to have a big kicker to nail some serious, you know, like a 60-yarder when you need it. That big kicker is going to get it there, whether it's going to be, you know, down the uprights or not. Yeah, but it's getting there. And so we were so excited that like they drafted a big kicker. You know, no offense to you, obviously, but then that whole like it created this whole like whirlwind between a bunch of these fans. And one of the guys that used to call into the audio podcast, he came up with this whole thing of anytime you made a kick. He doesn't actually live in Florida, so he doesn't get to go to a lot of games. But he wanted us to always chant every time you made a kick, "I love my big gay kicker," and it turned into this whole thing. And like we've got
the shirts back there. The shirts
behind you.
Shirts.
Yeah. My big gay.
That is your body. That is you.
That is actually you from a game.
That is actually you. But
that's your silhouette.
That is you. I drew you.
That's
I hand drew
sick.
you, Matt. I took meticulous time and effort to make sure that it looked exactly like you. We're gonna send him one.
I know it's hiding your beautiful face.
I better get one of those.
Exactly.
That's awesome.
I wanted to give you a chance because we've kind of been asking you all these questions and you know hammering you with stuff. But I wanted to give you a chance to talk about what you know the foundation that you played for or wore you donated those shoes for
the cleats for a cause
season.
The cause for cleats or whatever. Yeah.
Cause for cleats or cleats for a cause, whatever it was. And maybe there's some way that we can, you know, make these shirts work with that. And, you know, obviously I'm not going to charge you for anything like that, but I want, you know, tell us about why that cause and what makes it so close to you or dear to you.
So I kind of got into that, my cause, my cleats late, and I didn't have a specific foundation, but the cause that I went for was just anti-bullying, like completely because, and it sounds silly, but I was picked on, whatever, teased my whole life, for my last name. Like people were always making jokes. People were always saying stuff. And luckily that, you know, I was a confident enough kid to kind of stand up for myself and let it, you know, in one ear out the other. But like, there's a lot of these kids out there, and I saw my nieces and my nephews kind of going through it where they're getting bullied and picked on really bad. And especially with social media, like it's so cowardly to just like behind a screen send off these messages and not realize the effect it's actually having on these kids. that there's no escape now. Like, I mean, back in the day, you could leave school and you could go home and you could be in your safe place, or, you know, you can get away from it. But now it's like, it almost gets worse when you go home because it's easier to send a bunch of stuff online. And I mean, the kids' suicide rates are, you know, skyrocketing, and it's just all to do with just lack of like humanity. Like, people don't realize, like, do you really realize what you're typing to another human? Like, do you realize what you're saying to someone and what the pain and stress it's causing that person when they leave and they go home?
Yeah, I have a 14-year-old daughter. She's, you know, she tells me stories of she you know, she's pretty tough. She herself hasn't, you know, had a bully reach out to her or try to bully her through that, but she's had friends that have had, you know, real issues being bullied, you know, as soon as they leave home or you know, leave school and go home. So yeah, man, that's you know, I can't imagine living in that world. we got bullied at school. I got bullied at school when I was a kid.
Yeah,
for my last name too.
We had that conversation the other day, Stank,
yeah.
where it's like, holy crap. And you're preaching, Matt. It's exactly what me and Stank were talking about, where when we grew up, us old farts, I mean, you were able to go home and unplug.
Yeah.
There is no unplugging now, man. It's just relentless between Twitter and Instagram and Twitch and you know, Snap, whatever I don't use that crap, Snapchat.
Yeah.
It's back then though, they weren't going to be able to bully you during the day as much as they would be once they got home. Like now,
yeah,
you know what I mean?
Like,
you had lots of free time.
They have the free time now. They can get on their phones, and like, we all got picked on. I mean, I was a little brown Aladdin lookalike child, and I got picked on. No big deal. Like, when I was a kid, when Aladdin came out, like that, I was Prince Ali for like 3 months, and it was not in a good way. And
wait,
once you got home, yeah, different now. I'm like, dude, now it's cool to be Prince Ali, bro. Now you got like pet panthers and cheetahs and shit, and people fanning you and being out when you wake up, you know. But you know, you got to go home, like you said, and it goes away. You know, you had like 8 hours of, okay, I'm not getting picked on, or 10 hours, and then you go back to school, and yeah, no big deal. You can put up with it, but you know, like Matt said, you got to deal with it now consistently, like all day long. If you have a cell phone, it's nonstop. I mean, there's grown ass adults that do this shit on Twitter. Those trolls and guys that, you know.
That's what I was gonna say too, and it really hit home to like me. Like, all of a sudden you get in the NFL and like you go through a Giants game moment, and I mean, adult bullying. Like, I mean, my phone. You don't even want to know.
No, I can just imagine. You don't
even want to know what was said, like, in my DMs. And it's one thing to come at me, but like, I'm getting messages about my wife. My wife's getting messages. Like, I'm getting comments on my baby's pictures. Like, I had a barber back home who was getting messages, like, in Utah. Like, just because she was tagged in one of my pictures or whatever, like, people were messaging her, like, how could you cut this loser's hair? Or like, and you're like, wait, hold up.
What does that solve? That's what.
Like, what are we?
I don't understand.
What are we? But and then I've got guys like you, right, that send out the good stuff. Like, hey, we got your back. You know, we're here for you. We know this, and that's the stuff that like you really want to focus on and see. But and then you click. I mean, the thing is, and I don't want to sound vain or arrogant or anything like that, but like most of these people that are sending these stuff to me, like, I could run into one of them at Publix and have no idea. And the thing is, they would probably ask for my autograph.
They would never say that to your face. Yeah.
They would never say anything like this to my face, but yet behind the phone and screen, they're going to give me a death threat, or they're going to, like, you know, wish that I never, like, break my legs and I can never play football again. And honestly, like, all the, you know what I mean? And you're just like, and the thing is with me the whole time is like, okay, if you're a Bucs fan and you want your guys to do well, after I miss a kick, do you really think screaming at me on the sideline, calling me a loser, like telling me I suck, do you think that's going to like help me make the next kicks?
No.
Do you think that's going to help me perform better? Or like, and I get, right, the frustration, the anger, people are fans, like, totally fine. Like, And I don't care. Say whatever you want about me. Like, if you're at your house at home and your family and like, man, you know, that kicker freaking sucked today, or I wish you would have made that kick. Like, that's fine. So I don't care what you say at your house. But, like, to really think, hold up, I'm going to get on my phone. I'm going to personally message this person a hateful message.
I'm going to search them out and then type it out.
Search them out, type it out, and I'm going to read it, and I'm going to, like, think that this is okay to send to another person, and then hit send and feel okay about it. Like, I love sports. I watch sports too, but I'm never going to, like, DM Cristiano Ronaldo and say, you freaking loser. You missed that penalty kick. Like, it's not worth my time. Like, I'm not, like, what makes me think that that's okay to, like, and that's the thing, just going back to bowling. What makes you think that it's okay for your daughter to, like, you know what, I'm really bored right now. I'm going to go on and call this girl this and this and this name to just, you know, just because. It's like, right. Who literally thinks in their brain like that's
yeah,
okay.
I heard
and you feel okay about it.
I heard Joe Rogan talk about this a little bit. He said when he first started out, before he became mega famous, he used to read the comments. He used to read his instant messages and his DMs, and then he realized, like, humanity is not – we weren't made to take all this information in and be able to have contact with, you know, 8 billion people instantly. You know, that's not how, like, our brains are wired. You know, we're meant for, you know, small groups of people. So now technology's allowed everybody to reach out instantly if you allow yourself, you know, self to read it instantly and give you their opinion. And it you know, I can't imagine. I mean, you know, after that Giants game, you blew up, but think about, like, what Jameis went through here. I mean, it's I can't even begin to think about what his DMs look like. It's probably still today, you know, people still, you know, coming out of FSU with all the scandal and then coming here. Like, I wonder how much just hatred and poison that he's seen come across his messages. And I hope he never reads it. I really do.
Oh yeah. Nobody's got time to go do that. Like, that's just, I mean, I saw a scratch the surface. James probably got a lot worse than I did constantly too. Like, it never.
We see it on Twitter now. He's not a Buck anymore, and it's
hasn't stopped.
Consistent. It's still pretty consistent.
Still going on. It's like he's still here. It's wild.
I'm mad at him for joining the Saints, but that's, you know, that's a separate issue. I wouldn't DM him and, like, threaten his family and be personal about it. That's just, I don't know. You know, there's no line, and people have the anonymity online, so they think they can say anything. Like you said, nobody's going to walk up to you in Publix and say that shit to your face. It's not going to happen.
No one.
People talk shit to John Jones online. Imagine, like, anybody walking up to him in person actually talking smack to him.
Did you see the kid with the spray paint? Did you see the kid with the spray paint?
Yeah.
He's like tapping him on the shoulder, like, give me the stuff. He's like, whatever. He turns around. He's like, oh, I'm sorry. You got it.
Did you guys ever see the video? So do you know who Deontay Wilder is?
Yeah.
What? Yeah. That, you know, the heavyweight champ boxer. Yeah, to this day. Some troll reached out to him online, and Deontay's like, come meet me at the gym. And the guy did meet him at the gym. And there's video of him.
He beat the crap out of him.
Yeah, there's a video of him whooping this dude's ass in the gym. It was crazy. Oh, yeah. It's terrifying to watch.
Well, the guy was threatening. He was making threatening comments towards his daughter and just across the line.
Yeah.
Way across the line.
Man.
And the guy actually showed up.
There's lines.
He decided to show up.
You can't cross. There's lines you can't cross, man. But
by the way, Matt, you have a new barber now. I know you have one in Utah with the mountains and stuff, but in Florida, you have a barber, okay?
I have who?
A new barber, just so you know, okay?
Okay, who is it?
Well, listen, Christian, it's funny. Before you hopped on,
you don't even know Christian.
We were talking.
We're about to blow your mind right now.
Yeah, bro. Like, he has a connection to Bazio, and we were telling him. He was telling us he needs a new barber, and we're like, we got you, man. Christian's the guy. And then I dropped the name Bazio, and he's like, yeah, I know who Bazio is.
Wait, how do you know my business partner? Whoa. We got to rewind this back.
That's what I'm saying. I'm about to blow your mind, bro.
How do you know my business partner?
So one of my best friends in Utah is, his name's Peter Puertes, P-Cuts, whatever. And he's like a big kind of up-and-coming barber in Utah. And he's got a lot of these mentors and these people that he's worked with. But apparently at one of these workshops, we did a show in
Utah. We did a show in Utah, yeah.
Yeah, I think he met him and he connected with him, and I think he actually ended up at this workshop. I think Bosio cut his hair, and they stayed connected. And he was like, I was telling him oh, I got a barber that I go to in Tampa, and I kind of bounced between a few, but I need to. And he's like, oh, I've got a few. He's like, there's one in Orlando, and then he actually mentioned it didn't until you guys said Bosio. I was like, oh, that's the guy he told me about. And he said he doesn't cut too much hair because he's doing workshops and stuff now. But
yeah,
I mean, hopefully I can get in with.
He does what he does now is he mainly
that I can get in.
He doesn't do too many haircuts now. He cuts Vita's hair. He cuts Vita's hair and a couple other defensive players, but I'm sure he can get you in, absolutely. But he doesn't cut regular clientele anymore.
Bosio doesn't need to cut Matt's hair. You need to cut Matt's hair.
I mean, I would love
you need to cut his hair. Cut his hair.
Don't let Bosio touch him.
Listen, this is how it works. You can cut his hair while Stank is working his hamstrings with the Beck's baby oil. It's perfect, man.
Weird.
You just come in. It'll be
he just said his hamstrings are good.
No, you still got to work him, bro. Keep him loose. Come in Saturday evening. Get your hair cut.
Oh, he's gone. See, you made him hang up.
No.
I told you to cut that, bro. I told you.
You scared him away, Sammer.
Damn it, Sammer.
No, I think his internet was crapping out.
His internet was crapping out. It was going a little bit long, though. I'm sure he was ready.
No, he asked him before if he could go an hour, and he's like, I can go an hour.
Oh, sweet.
Yeah, he knew. And then you took about an extra 15 minutes, so he was probably ready to dip. But, yeah, we had that. I was waiting for Sam or for Matt to bring it up, that he has a connection with you. Oh, he's back.
He's back.
He's back.
I don't know what happened.
Oh, you got to turn your camera on.
How do I do that?
You're on the phone app. How do you do that on the phone app? Sam?
He's back. There you go. And now you're muted. And now you're back. And now you're gone.
Am I muted?
Yep. Now you're good now.
No, you're good now.
Now we can hear you.
Okay, good.
So, yeah, before you exited there, we're not going to have any rubbing of the hamstrings in my barbershop. That's not going to happen with Stank rubbing down. You're more than welcome to come to the barbershop. Definitely. I'll connect with you on Twitter.
Yeah, man, for sure. I need one.
If not, Bosio as well. But like I said, Bosio's there sparingly. He cuts.
Yeah.
He's too busy. He's
no.
We created a company based off of YouTube, so he's just focused on creating content to funnel people towards that business, and that's
we got to take care of him. The Loose Cannons podcast has to take care of Matt Gay's hair. So Christian,
hey, Matt,
it's on your hands. It's in your machine's hands, man. That's it. You got to do it. So it's on your clippers from here on out.
Listen, I'm going to go in overconfident, bro. I'm going to deliver. It's
no. Go through the steps. Focus on the mechanics of it and deliver.
Yeah, bro. If you
fade, just fade it.
If you fuck up his fade, there's a problem. Because think about it. Monday Night Football, he's on the sidelines and there's a big gouge in the back of his head.
I just got the buzz cut, so I just need a nice tight fade with a little buzz right now.
Yeah, bro, come on.
Simple cut.
We'll see him on the sidelines on Monday Night Football. We're gonna know Christian tightened him up.
Wait, Matt, would you allow Christian to put shave some names in your head? Back in the 90s, we used to do that. We used to shave Loose Cannons podcast on the side.
What names are we doing?
I don't know. Let me just three I can think of: Stank, Sammer, and Christian. Just right there, right.
Right on Monday Night
off the top of my head.
Stank.
Loose Cannons. Loose Cannons would be dope.
Yeah, just loose cannon and go out there and just fire some 65-yard just right off the cannon in your foot, man. Just bam.
That works.
By the way, at the training camp takeover, that was one of the things that got us most exciting, bro. And reporters were talking about it on Twitter as well. When you hit the ball,
yeah.
Fucking bazooka, bro. What in the hell? Have you broken a football? Yeah. Have you ripped the football apart ever? Have you flattened the football? You had to have flattened the football. I
completely forgot about that. I completely forgot.
Sandlotted one.
It was so loud when you were kicking those footballs. I've never heard anything like that. And we've seen a lot of kicks in our day. I'm it was crazy. It was so – I don't know if it was made – it wasn't the indoor facility because we were there the year before, and it wasn't like that. we didn't hear that off of Aguayo's foot or Connor Barth or whoever the fuck was doing it last time. But your kicks were like cannons, dude. It was wow. It was ridiculous.
I like to get after it.
That's it.
That's where we end it.
That's it.
Matt, you got to come on during training camp, man. You got to come on and like give us some insider info on how camp's going, what it's like to be in the room with Brady and Gronk.
And considering fans can't come to
Matt Gay podcast part 2.
Exactly. The Matt Gay podcast part 2.
Love it.
I like it. That's going to be the quote. That's the quote. I like to get after it.
I like to get after it. That's the name of the episode.
Get after it.
That needs to be on the back of the shirt.
The episode.
That's it. That should go on the back of the shirt. Oh man, it's perfect.
I like to get after it.
Listen, Matt.
Big get kicker. I like to get after it.
Dude,
I got one more quick one.
One more question. All right, one more question.
You've only, I know you've only been exposed to what you've been exposed to so far in the NFL. But tell me, BA is the coolest fucking coach in the NFL, right? Like that dude is just like that swag. That's real, right?
Oh yeah, he's my kind of guy too. Like first of all, I think his style. I love his style. He's swaggy. Like he dresses when we show up to games and he's like traveling. Like I think he dresses sick. I love the way he dresses. And then he just blunt, dude. He's just to the point, like he just says what's on his mind, says the truth. And that's how I work too. Like I'm a blunt person. Like tell me how it is. And if he doesn't want to talk to you, he's not going to talk to you. So
awesome.
That's my kind of guy right there.
He likes to get after it.
VA. He likes to get after it.
He does like to get it.
Dude, that's so good. Hey, Matt, thank you so much for hanging out, bro.
Yeah, dude.
We're like all we joke around. We have a lot of fun. We're so humbled that you even like watch our podcast. And you're clearly the biggest fan of the Loose Cannons. Sorry,
the biggest.
The biggest fan.
He's part of the podcast now.
He's
not a fan anymore.
You're basically
he transcended. He transcended.
Yeah. No, listen, Matt's clearly like myself. I mean, I listen and watch these shows over and over again until the next episode. So, and I just like to hear myself talk. I usually just mute the other two guys. And I like to agree with myself. I mean, I'll be driving and I'll be on Bluetooth and I'm just like, dude,
I'm so funny.
That's a great point. Dude, I'm like the funniest guy on this podcast. Why do I even have those guys there? So
no lies detected.
Matt gets it. Matt understands. Matt, thank you so much for hanging out, bro. We will definitely connect again. I will talk to you off air here and get your
sounds good
details and get these T-shirts out to you, man. And maybe we get one for your little dog there too. That'd be pretty cool. Everybody who tuned in, as always, hit the subscribe, hit the notifications button. We love all of you guys. Till next time, peace.
Go Bucs.
Bucs.
Like to get after it, baby. I love it.